Hi friends, and welcome to Decorate Your Life. This is a 6x8 folio tutorial featuring the Master Detective collection from Graphic 45. This folio tutorial is highly requested and it's a spin-off from my October daily folio. This folio contains Graphic 45 square tags for the waterfall and a box that can contain a set of cards or a notebook. You'll find a supply list in the description area below and in my blog. You'll also find a full measurements list in my blog. Enjoy the tutorial. We begin our folio tutorial by cutting 5 pieces of chipboard. You're going to cut one piece at 8 inches by 6 inches, 2 pieces at 1.5 inches by 8 inches, one piece at 4 by 8, and another piece at 5 by 8. We're then going to take 2 pieces of 12 by 12 good quality cardstock and we are going to join them at the edges using some good quality double-sided tape. Now we're ready to attach our bottom part of our chipboard to the center of our cardstock, and I use a ruler to help me keep this piece centered. I also like to use my chipboard pieces to help me align the spines onto my folio. And I will use my ruler once again to help me align the outer chipboard pieces to my folio. What you see me doing here is applying plenty of glue. I also apply a sheet of double-sided tape, and the reason why you want to do this in the spine area is so that when you have your paper down and you are folding or bending the book along the spine, you don't want to see any air bubbles popping up. So you need to ensure that there's plenty of glue in this area. So now it's time to add some magnets to our folio. The magnets that I like to use are super flat and super strong. These are about the size of a $50, and I find that the larger in circumference the magnets are, the stronger they are. And so yes, I will leave you a link to these magnets in the supply list area. I will leave you a supply list with the links to these magnets in the description area below. Now it's time to cut our outer pieces to the cover, and you're going to cut 3 pieces. The height that we're going to use is 7 3/4. You're going to cut one piece at 3 3/4, a second piece at 5 3/4, and another piece at 4 3/4. And now we're going to use the Graphic 45 Color Box Decades in Photogenic to ink around the edges. We're going to use our Graphic 45 square tags to make the waterfall. We're going to use 4 of these tags for our waterfall, and we're going to score them at 1/2 inch. But before I add them to my folio, you're going to see me cut a piece of cardstock that will go over the magnetized portion. This way I have a nice flat surface to work with. We now use our Graphic 45 square tag die to cut some inserts, and once those inserts have been die cut, you will trim them at the bottom 1/2 an inch. You'll then ink around the edges using your Graphic 45 photogenic ink. Then you'll apply adhesive to your die cuts and adhere them to your tags. Your bottom tag is going to be completely glued on to your folio, but before you apply glue, go back to your paper trimmer and trim off the 1/2 an inch, the excess 1/2 an inch from your black tag. Next, I will cut some strips at 4.5 by almost 1/2 an inch, and I do this for the in-between spots of our waterfall. This way there's a nice and seamless what's that word? What am I looking for? Transition from one page to the next, or one tag to the next. So now we are going to create the box that goes in the middle part of our folio, and for this we're going to need to take some measurements down. We know that the spine measures 1.5 inches, and the width of the bottom side to our folio measures 6 inches. Now, the 3.5 inches that you see me write down is how tall I want my box to be. So to ensure that we have plenty of room for our waterfall and the features that are going to go inside it, we are only going to build a 1 inch deep box, even though we already know that the spine is 1.5 inches. So the method that I'm about to show you, you can use on any project that you need to make a box for. Okay, the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take a blank piece of paper and you are going to draw a schematic. Yes, I'm calling it a schematic. I was an electrical engineer major, and so that's how I know this by. So you're going to draw your picture onto a piece of paper, and then you're going to write in the spaces that you need. In other words, the measurements that you just took, you're going to draw them right onto your schematic. Here you see me adding the measurements onto my drawing, and don't worry, it will all make sense in just a bit. Okay, so here I'm showing you that we have 5.5 inches for the width, 3.5 inches for the height. Now the first flap, we know that we need it to be 1 inch deep. So we have 1 inch deep on 4 sides. But you're going to see some dashed lines. Those dashed lines are going to represent where we're going to be doing some gluing. And we need an additional 1/2 inch of space where the dashed lines are. So now we're going to do some very simple math. We're going to add all those numbers that you saw me write down. We're going to add the horizontal numbers that'll give us 1 measurement, and then we're going to add all the vertical numbers, and that'll give us another measurement. So what I'm doing is I'm adding 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 whole, then 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and then plus 3.5, that makes the 6.5, and then once again 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 whole, then plus 1 plus 1, that makes 3, and 3 plus 5.5 is 8.5. Now, to build our box, I highly recommend that you use some heavyweight cardstock. And we're going to trim our heavyweight cardstock to 8.5 by 6.5. Using our scoring board, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Next, you will score at 1 inch past that 1/2 inch mark, and you will do this on all 4 sides. Now, let me tell you something, friends. After this, you will be trimming off a piece of this cardstock, and some of you may say that's just waste, but there's a reason why I do it this way. I see patterns in everything that I do, in everything that I see, and so this is the easiest way for me to do this. Okay, so now we are going to go over our score marks with a bone folder, and we're going to be doing a little bit of trimming, and I apologize once again. This is done in patterns, and I guess it's just the Aspie in me. And so I apologize, but this is how I do things. And it's a good idea to decorate and add the pieces to the front of your box before you put your box together and attach it to your folio. Now, here is a tip for when you're folding two squares together, like in your cardstock. In order for them to fit better, cut a smidget off of each side, kind of like a triangle, but just a tiny skinny one. So now that our pocket is adhered to our folio, all you have to do is decorate. I hope that you've enjoyed this 6x8 folio tutorial using the Master Detective Collection by Graphic 45, and let me know in the comment section below what are the types of tutorials you would like to see. I do have some other folio ideas that I would love to share with you, and if you just happen to land on this channel and you're not a subscriber as of yet, go ahead and click on that subscribe button, click on that bell icon. That way YouTube will notify you each time I upload a brand spanking new tutorial. So I thank y'all so very much for watching, and welcome to all of my new subscribers, and hiya to all of my existing subscribers. Oh my gosh, I just have so much to say and I only have so little time. So anyways, I will see you once again real soon. Thank you for watching. Bye now.